Section 9.6, we're going to complete each proportion. So we're going to use this diagram. Remember, when you have parallel lines and you have transversals, these segments as a ratio will equal these segments as a ratio. So these parts are proportional. So segment TX, notice how I kind of trace over that segment as I'm reading it. That helps. Segment TX over segment XZ is the same thing as segment WY over segment YA. Segment WY over segment WA is the same thing as segment TX to segment TZ. Number 3, segment YA to segment WY is the same thing as segment XZ to segment TX. This is number 4. Segment TZ compared to segment TX would be the same thing as segment WA compared to segment WY. Number 5. Segment XZ compared to segment TX is the same thing as segment YAY compared to segment WY. Last one for this section, segment WA compared to segment WY is the same thing as segment TZ compared with segment TX. We're just making sure that we're comparing the corresponding parts. So we'll do the same thing for the next section, only difference is we have to find the piece that's missing. So we're solving for the thing that we don't know. Parallel lines, transversals in all of these examples. So this ratio equals this ratio. So 10/15 equals 10 over x. And then you just cross multiply. You do 15 times 10, which is 150, and then you divide by 10. So x is 15. Number 8, we'll compare 12 to 9. We know that's going to be the same thing as x to 15. And we're going to cross multiply. We're going to take 12 times 15 and divide by 9. Number 9, we'll do 10 to 15 and set it equal to 12 to x. And we'll cross multiply. So we're going to take 15 times 12 and then divide by 10. That's how you do those really easy ones. 12 is a really easy one. Oh, and I guess that's all of the ones that are really, really easy. Now the other ones that have these brackets, you just have to be careful. You're not always necessarily using what they give you in the brackets. You're using it to help you find another value, possibly, but that doesn't mean that value is going to go in your proportion, so be careful. And number 10, we know that this is x, and this piece is 8. So this is x minus 8, if that makes sense. If the whole thing is x and that little piece is 8, this is 8 less than x. So we know that if these are the same, these are going to be the same too. So we know that x minus 8 is 18. So x is 26. Same thing's happening here. These cut off segments that are congruent, so these segments are going to be congruent. Remember, that's a theorem that we have. I think it's theorem 9.9 maybe. So if that's 30, that's 30. So what's the value of x? Got to be 60. 12 is a simple one, just like these up here. Number 13, we have a 3 to 9 ratio. That's 1 to 3. So we better end up with a 1 to 3 ratio here also. So I know 5 to 15 is 1 to 3. So make sure you're answering the question, how long is x? It's 20. Okay, 20 to 60. That's got to be the same thing as x compared with, watch yourself, this piece right here is the piece that we want to put in this proportion. That would be 88 minus x. That's one way to do it. If that makes sense to you, cross multiply, you could find x. Another way to do it, since we have this bracket with the 88, why don't we take x to 88? That's this little piece to the whole thing, and compare it with 20 to the whole thing, which would be 80. Either one of these will give you the correct answer. Which one's easier to solve? Probably this one. So if you're comfortable with both ways, maybe this way's better. So we'll do 88 times 20 and divide by 80. Number 15, we have a 1 to 3 ratio. Again, this needs to be a 1 to 3 ratio. So this piece has to be 15, so then that whole segment right there is 20.